He's on there. Hi guys. Well, this is fun. Shabbat Shalom. Thanks for doing all this. Always. Right? It's nice. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom to you. Thanks for putting this all together. Yes, that's fair. That's fair. I'm sure it'll be lovely. All right. Do we have everyone here, I think? Yeah. Sure. That'd be great. Nothing. Nothing but your soul. Oh, okay, that's fair. You guys all ready? Okay, all right. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Down here, nice to see you. Shabbat Shalom. We're so glad you're here for Broadway Shabbat, for honoring Ellery Block, for celebrating Shabbat together. It's going to be a lovely evening. More introduction in a moment, but why don't we start by singing Consider Yourself from Oliver.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
From The Wiz. When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. We've taken to you so strong. It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself well in. Consider yourself part of the furniture. There isn't a lot to spare. Who cares? Whatever we got, we share. If it's meant to be, we should see some harder days. Empty larder days. Why grouse? Always a chance we'll meet somebody to foot the bill. Then the drinks are on the house. Consider yourself our mate. We don't want to have no fuss. For after some consideration we can say, consider yourself one of us. For after some consideration we can say, consider yourself one of us.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We want to welcome you to Broadway Shabbat. Oh, they're leaving, okay. It is fitting that tonight's service falls during a period on our Jewish calendar called the Omer, which is the time between Passover and Shavuot, where we count each day, we pause each day, and we find gratitude in the world around us. That can be hard to do these days when we feel like there's so much darkness in our world and around here and in Israel. But tonight, we have light. The creative nature of Broadway Shabbat helps us to pause, even in our own Shabbat service. Tonight, we will not be reciting most of our regular prayers, so don't judge us if this is your first time here. But what we'll really be doing is thinking about the meanings of the prayers, and we have paired songs that convey the meanings of each of the prayers. You'll hear our musicians sing and reflect on those themes in the songs tonight. Our musicians have worked very hard to prepare these numbers that are meant to be a reflection on the service. There will be singing, there will be dancing, I think there will be a little bit of magic, definitely costumes. I can't think of a more uplifting and joyful way to celebrate Shabbat and who we are as a people. We are still here. We are still joyful. We are still creative. So our service tonight might feel a little different than it normally does. Some of our prayers, as I mentioned, will be replaced by Broadway themes. But one thing will remain the same on Shabbat and always, that we will rejoice and celebrate who we are. There will be no intermission in this show. Before our prayers begin, some of the Sharianim singers are going to be getting us in the Broadway mood. We have one more song before we jump into our service, and that is Screech from Come From Away. So take it away, Sharianim.
Hey, hey, come on inside. Nothing ventured, nothing tried. Only a couple people cried. You'll be a Beth Shalomer. Hey, hey, sit down right here. You'll feel better in a year. Try to ignore your doubts and fears, and you'll be a Beth Shalomer. Hey, hey, come on tonight. Take a risk and take a ride. Jump right in with both feet tied, and you'll be a Beth Shalomer. Hey, hey, come on once more. Nothing ventured, nothing soared. After it's over, out the door, and you'll be a Beth Shalomer. You'll be a Beth Shalomer.
Beautiful. Along with Shabbat tonight, we are honoring one of our long-term members, the wonderful Ellery Block, who is sitting fittingly in the back over there, who recently turned 90 years old. Ellery, again, it seems fitting to honor you during this Omer period, as I mentioned, because we are so grateful for all that you do for our congregation and our community. I would assume that most people know that, most people who know Ellery know that for many years he was on the finance committee of the temple, maybe one of the most active committees around. Years ago, Ellery was also in a very small group of people who would gather together to compassionately meet with folks who needed dues relief. And Ellery, your big-heartedness came through clearly there as well as through the finance committee. And maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Ellery made a giant spreadsheet with precision and style so we could figure out how much money people have given throughout their entire years at Temple, so we could honor them appropriately on the boards, on the mezzanine and on the first floor down below. That was a ton of work, and it was really heartening to see the new names go up on the boards just a few short months after that. Ellery, you are also a deep and creative thinker. You follow politics and Israel very closely. You keep a special eye on what's developing in the news, especially about Israel. Rabbi Lynette and I know that almost every day we will have a thoughtfully picked article in our inboxes from you, waiting to be read, with some perspectives that we might not see as often. You have thoughts of creative solutions to huge problems and make such a huge difference, not just to us and our community, but to the larger Jewish community as well. While you may not have your sailboat anymore, you are still the captain of the ship around here, and we are so grateful to you for that. So thank you to you and to Marcia and to your entire family for all the many gifts that you give to Temple Beth Shalom. As a small token of our appreciation for you, we have this lovely mezuzah that's made from Jerusalem stone. I noticed that's not actually a real cloth, a real scroll in there, it's just a copy, so we'll get you a real one also, a scroll to go if you wanted to hang this, and that goodness and love, hopefully you'll feel it every time you see this lovely mezuzah. So Ellery, if you're up for it, I'd love to have you join me on the bima for a blessing in front of the ark, and we'll invite everyone to please rise. Sure. Yeah. Oh, you want to hold the Torah? Yeah, sure. Yeah, here. Here you go.
The big one.
Oh, yeah, this is the good one here. Okay. All right, you want to just hang on to it there? All right. So the blessing from this Torah itself and from this entire congregation filled with love for you, Ellery, is Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God always bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine upon you always and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lacha shalom. May you always feel peace and wholeness and love of your community. And may you live to 120 and beyond, just like our prophet Moses. And together we say, Amen. Happy birthday. Mazel tov. Yay. Let's hear it for Ellery. Yeah, hold on a second.
You've done wonders for your congregation.
Oh, thank you. Well,
You really deserve and honor yourself.
Thank you. I got plenty of them. Thank you. Thanks, Ellery. I appreciate it. Okay. All right. Let's hear it for this guy here. And we're going to, you may be seated, we're going to turn to our candle lighting. And Mrs. Rose is our expert lighter.
May the Lord protect and defend you. May He always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a shining name. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord, and take them from the stranger's ways. May God bless you and grant you long life.
Our Sabbath prayer for you. May God make you good mothers and
May He set you husbands who will care for you. May the Lord protect and defend you. May the Lord preserve you from pain. Favor them, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer.
We're going to ask everyone if you are able to please rise. You can find the Chatzi Kaddish, a transitional prayer here on page 26 in your Siddur or up on the screens. We'll join together with Gail in singing.
יתקדש ויקדש שמי רבה, ויעמד דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחיי הון וביום הון, ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, ועולם עולמי עמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילום מן כל, ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמא, ואמרו ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. In a moment, we're going to join in singing a version of the Shema. And what we do in the Shema is we sing about the oneness of God. This prayer is called the watchword of our faith, and it reminds us that God is one and that each of us is part of that one singular being. Let's join together in one from a chorus line, and you may be seated. We're going to turn to the next section of the service where we usually chant the Ve'ahavta prayer, which we would normally go right into. And that prayer reminds us that love is more than a feeling. In order to truly love God and one another, we must have that love be reflected in our actions. We aren't simply commanded to feel love, we are commanded to show our love through what we do every day. And one of the most important actions that we can take is teaching these commandments to the next generation. When we educate our kids, when we teach the blessings that to the next generation, we will keep that flame of Judaism brighter and warmer, ledor vador, from generation to generation. So in honor of the Ve'ahavta, let's hear You've Got to Be Carefully Taught from South Pacific.
You've got to be taught to hate and fear. You've got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully taught.
You've got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are oddly made,
and people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught before it's too late, before say bigotry's not big of me, and it's not big of you.
Let's all work together. Let's make a rainbow.
And make rainbow dreams come true.
Acceptance, acceptance, acceptance. Let's
Make rainbow dreams come true.
acceptance.
A few weeks ago, we gathered together to celebrate Passover and the rebirth of our people that we celebrate at that time every year. When the Israelites crossed the sea, they sang and they danced, and that is beautifully and powerfully portrayed in The Prince of Egypt. We even showed part of it during the Seder downstairs in our social hall here. So in just a few moments, we're going to hear the song When You Believe, a song that has the Mi Chamocha prayer within it. I remember seeing that in the theater and crying when I heard Hebrew in the North Shore Cinema in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And perhaps we'll be crying again tonight when we hear our Sharianim out of the beautiful words, Ashir al Adonai ki ga'o ga'ai. We'll sing a song of goodness to God. Let's join together in When You Believe.
Ashir al Adonai ki ga'oga. Ashir al Adonai ki ga'oga. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nehedar. HaKodesh nahita lechastecha. Nahita lechastecha, amzugalta, Ashira, 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 Adonai ki ga'ogai, Ashira, Adonai ki ga'ogai, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar, HaKodesh nahita lechastecha, amzugalta, nahita lechastecha, amzugalta, Ashira, Ashira, Ashira. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve? When you believe, somehow you will. Ah, you will. You will when you believe. You will when you believe.
So beautiful. And we'll turn in just a moment to Hashkivenu as they get set up here. During this prayer, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. We ask that God provide a shelter, that God protect us. Grant, O God, that we may lie down in peace and rise up to find you, God, waiting for life renewed. This prayer reminds us of God's role in the world as a source of comfort and peace, that perhaps we can't depend on God to make the world a better place, but we can be God's agents to make the world a better place, and we can turn to God when we need comfort and peace in stressful times. We're going to hear that represented in the song I'll Be There from MJ the Musical.
You and I must make a pact. We must bring salvation back. Where there is love, I'll be there. I'll reach out my hand to you. I'll have faith in all you do. Just call my name and I'll be there.
I'll be there to comfort you, build my world of dreams around you. I'm so glad that I found you. I'll be there with a love so strong. I'll be your strength. I'll keep holding on.
Let me fill your heart with joy and laughter. Togetherness, well, it's all I'm after. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be there to protect you with an unselfish love that respects you. Just call my name and I'll be there.
Beautiful, Shari and Neem. That's so lovely. As they're walking back to their seats, we're going to invite everyone, if you are able, to please rise as we turn to the Amidah prayers. You can find Adonai Sfatai beginning on page 46 or up here on the screen. We'll do some actual prayers. Not that these moments haven't been holy, because they sure have. Let's join together with the Amidah.
Adonai Sfatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo V'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Malgein, Baruch Atah Malgein Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'chayei HaKol Atah Rav V'Hoshia, V'chalkel Hayim B'Chesed, V'chayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayeh Emunato Lishenei Afar, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מקיים הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יולוך הסלע, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated, and we'll take a few moments for some silent prayer and meditation, either the words in the Siddur on 54 to 60 or whatever words are in your heart on this Erev Shabbat.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you.
Make me a channel of your peace.
Make me a channel of your
When there's
peace.
despair in life,
Where
let me
there's
bring
despair in
hope.
life, let me
When
bring
there is
hope.
darkness, only
Where
light.
there is darkness, only
And where
light.
there's sadness, ever.
Oh, say shalom bin Ramav, Uyase shalom aleinu, ve'achol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael. O Master, grant that I may never see so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as love with all my soul.
Make me a
Channel of your peace. When there's despair in life, let me bring hope. When there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy.
We're going to turn to the Mishaberach Lecholim, the prayer for those who are in need of healing. And it is at these joyful moments, we're at the theater when we were thinking of folks who do not have the opportunity to attend events like this. Perhaps we have folks watching online who are in need of healing, and we are thinking about you. So in a moment, I'm going to read this list of folks who are thinking of for healing in our community, and then if you have other names, you can certainly add those to this list afterward. On this Shabbat, we are thinking of complete healing for Asher Benaya ben Harav Gavriela David Eli, for Jonathan Adler, Nancy Ashley, Lori Barr, Sarah Bates, and Charlie Bauer. Margie Block, John Bratta, Marge Serrani, Ann Clark, Keith Clark, Bruce Cohn, Mia Cooley, Ella Dubrow, Michael Lee Ellard, Sam Edelman, Carrie Eschler, Marilyn Friedman, Hannah Golan, Alan Goldberg. We're thinking of Yossi Golden, Carolyn Goldmark, Jessica Heffley, Karen Carlsberger, Beth Jasalowitz, Dan Lang, Minna Melton, Phyllis Miles, Lisa Pena, Jeremy Phelan, Ian Phillips, Rashi Prestowski, Stanley Radin, Jessica Rathkoff, Willow Rorba, Steve Rubenstein, Rolf Sauer, Ozzy Zimmer, and Shelley Zimmerman. Are there other names of folks who are in need of healing who could use our prayers this evening? When we start on this side over here. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks. You just shout them out. Any other names? I see online Sonia Barnhouse. On their behalf and on behalf of those who we are thinking of in our hearts who are in need of healing, we're going to join together in singing Misha Berach. You can find that on page 253 or up here on the screen, and we say Baruch Atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed are you, God, who sends healing and strength when we most need it. Let's join together in singing.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu Mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, Amen.
If you're able, we'll invite you to please rise for Aleinu. You can find that on page 282 and then 287 or up here on the screen.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teikdu yotzer breishi, shelo asanik v'yeh ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem,
V'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim
Lifnei Malach, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bayom Hahu, Yirah Adonai Echad, Ushemo Echad.
these evenings of great joy, it is fitting for us to turn near the end of the service to the Kaddish Yatom, the prayer for mourners, the prayer for remembrance. I don't know about you guys, but going with my family to theater events growing up were some of the seminal moments of our childhood, and I know that I'm thinking of folks in our family who used to have that seat next to me in the theater, and I would imagine that there are others in the room who are missing folks who would have loved an evening like this. So we're thinking of all of them, especially in our hearts. I'm going to read a reading here on page 289, and then we will read a list of folks whose yahrzeits fall on this Shabbat. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames, we see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. On this Shabbat at Temple Beth Shalom, we are recalling the recent deaths of Bernie Posner and Charles Tuffian, both of whom have been recently taken from our midst. We remember those who died at this season in years past, and we take them into our hearts with our own. We are thinking of Sidney Attenberg, Dorothy Josephine Sokoli Bayet. We're thinking of Lily Daner, Jack Feinstein, Ellis Finkelstein. We're thinking of Gene Katz, Mark Klin, Bernard Koenig, Lewis Lewis, Coleman Luckton, Rita Miller, Wancelis Newworth, Samuel Opperman, Harry Robb, Agnes Reguerio, Herman Ringelheim, Julia Silverman, Nathan Stamen, William Teitel, Relda Teitel-Domer, Audrey Leah Wolpa, and Stanley J. Wolpa. Are there any other names of folks who we are remembering on this Shabbat? I see we have online here Marie Dawes and Kathleen Spencer. On their behalf and on behalf of all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we turn to page 294 or up on here on the screen to the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. V'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mivarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah v'richu. Le'ela minko birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imrum. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya, v'hayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May God, who sends peace and comfort to all who are mourning, help us to find that comfort and wholeness that we seek. And together we say, Amen. You may be seated. And before a few more songs, we have some announcements from Bobby.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and thank you to our choir, our wonderful Sha'aranim choir, for a fantastic start to Shabbat. Please join us in the social hall after services for a very special oneg tonight in honor of Ellery's 90th birthday. If you want more Jewish music, please check out the Columbus Jewish Choral Concert on Sunday, June 9th at Beth Tikva in Worthington. Your program has information on how to get tickets. I want to call your attention to a couple of upcoming programs. This upcoming Tuesday's Juicy Jewish Topics with Professor Don Sylvan, which will be all about global politics and the situation in Israel, will take place via Zoom at 11 a.m. Thursday, May 30th at noon here at TBS, we will welcome TBS member and New Albany City Council member Marlene Brisk as our lunch bunch speaker. Lunch will be catered by Aladdin's and costs $12. Next Friday is the return of Fourth Friday dinner after services. A reservation has been made at Asian Gourmet. Please RSVP on ShowCloud or with Becca to save your seat. Lastly, Sunday, June 2nd at 10 a.m. here at the Temple is our 2024 annual meeting. For all of this and more, please be in touch with any of us or check out the weekly window for more details on these programs and more. With that, Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for making TBS your Jewish home. Rabbi?
And just to note, that program on Tuesday, it's a change that it's on Zoom now. Our speaker couldn't be here in person. So we'll send out a Zoom code if you have already registered. If you haven't yet, you can still register, and Becca will send you a Zoom code for Tuesday's program. All right, so I know we have Kiddush, and then we have Motzi, and then we have more music. So why don't we get right to that? We're going to invite Arthur Rose. Where are you, Arthur? To join for Kiddush, and whomever else is coming up for Motzi and up on the bima. While they're coming up here, and while we're preparing for Kiddush and Motzi, a huge thank you to a few people. Debbie Costa, there you're over there. Debbie Costa, director of the Sharianim and coordinator of all of this. Gail Rose for dedicating the majority of your life in these past few months to this evening, so thank you. Our amazing Sharianim singers, thank you for all of your voices and all of your acting and singing. Scott Ashton, our piano player extraordinaire, flying fingers over there. Bobby for streaming, great job back there. All right, anybody else, go ahead and thank yourself for being you. Jan Cohn. Yes, Jan Cohn is giving us the cheat sheet in the back. If you haven't seen it, you can twist around and take a look there. So why don't we join together in Kiddush, and then we'll do Motzi, and then we'll sing To Life.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinkilanu, zikaron l'maseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila L'mikrae kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, kivanu b'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodecha, B'ahava u'ratzon hikatanu, Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Okay.
I won't hit any of those notes. Closing song, Consider Yourself, reprise.
Consider yourself at home. chance to be, sweet should see some harder days, empty larder days, wine grouse.
Always a chance to meet somebody to foot the bill.
Then the drinks are on the house. Consider yourself our mate. We don't want to have no fuss. For after some consideration we can stay. Consider yourself one of us. For after some consideration we can stay. Consider yourself one of us.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you, Sharianim. Encore, encore. All right. Great job, you guys. That was so. Oh gosh, watch out.